Hello, everybody. It's episode 187 of Husband and Wife Sentenced to Life, the podcast. Simon here, Laura.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right, I've got a bit of a headache.
Yeah.
Is that not the way to start the podcast?
Well, I'm not asking you for sex.
No.
That used to be the thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
Be honest. Have you ever got out of sex by saying you had an headache?
Don't think so.
Because that's the TV go-to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, not tonight. I've got an headache. Bit of an
Yeah.
headache. I don't think I've ever been told it.
Lucky you.
Afterwards, always the headache comes.
Yeah. Dizzy.
And you're welcome.
Oh, gosh.
We better start with that, actually. So, episode 186, the last podcast, we did a sex survey.
Yeah, I've promised to keep it to a minimum today.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's see how we get on. Sex survey, how old you are compared to how often you should be having sex, right? That was the survey.
It seems a lot of people have been talking about it.
Hit me with the feedback.
Well, should we start with Greg?
Greg alert.
Greg alert. He messaged us both saying, have a word with the wife, Laura.
Classic Bants.
Yeah, typical bloke comment that.
What else we got coming in?
Dave on Facebook, he said he's lucky if he gets it every 365 days, so once a year.
Right, so we're up on him.
Kirsty on TikTok, she's agreeing with me. She says defo 3 to 5 times a week. See, and she's
That's not her saying she's getting that.
a woman's got needs, is what she's saying. J. Lou, is that?
Yeah.
She says nothing wrong with wanting a full-on sex life.
I never said there was.
But so far, the women, well, I guess, and some of the men are disagreeing with the figures. Not our figures.
The survey
figures. Mark says, can we swap wives? Terrible.
Again, classic Bants.
Yeah. User 15641 says HRT and testosterone.
Now, I don't understand that. Is he saying that's what we need to do it more? Or is that what we're taking?
I don't know, because the thing about like menopause, that's when you take HRT, isn't it? Right? So
I've no idea.
sometimes they say when you hit menopause, it slows down for a woman. And I'm guessing for some women it has the opposite effect. I don't know. I don't think I'm there yet. Some days I do think I'm hitting menopause.
Well, if you hit menopause and then suddenly want more sex, I'm leaving. You cannot.
4418 says those numbers are not acceptable. Now, I'm assuming he's not talking about my numbers. I'm assuming he's talking about the survey numbers there.
Very vague.
Yeah. Dave C says, if she wants sex every 3 days, it's odd that her partner denies her that.
Well, Dave, you didn't listen properly because you said every 2 days. You said every other day.
Yeah.
Right? Which, I mean, when you say it's not every 2 days, is it? There's 1 day in between.
It is one in favour of you, I think, this one. Tom Pay says, I adore the absolutely correct amount of swearing in this episode. That's definitely more you than me.
I think it is me, yeah. Apologies if it,
There was a lot.
It's very expressive. What can I say?
You were shocked. You were shocked.
Listen, I've spent the last 18 years broadcasting in Dubai where I wasn't allowed to swear.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to swear on my social media because of being a public figure.
Yeah.
I couldn't use bad language anywhere. So I'll be fucked if I'm not doing it now I'm back in England.
Come on.
I love a good swear.
I do, but not on the podcast. I try.
No, the podcast has got an explicit button on it for a reason.
Okay.
Right?
So I've had a little rethink. Well,
I love this.
I don't know if I have. I'm going to do my own experiment now.
What I want you to do is not backpedal.
No, I'm not.
Because you came to me yesterday.
Yeah.
We stood there. I think we were having a little cuddle in the kitchen. And you said, I've had a bit of a rethink.
No, that was yesterday.
What's changed?
I'm going to see how I feel on each day.
Right.
Currently, you're safe. I've got a headache.
You have got it. Quick headlines.
Yeah.
It's a grey day. We've decided we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
We've sat down to do the podcast. Blue skies.
Really
I mean,
blue.
it looks like summer outside.
Yeah. You can't plan for what you do in the day in England, can you?
Next headline, home haircut, obviously.
My fringe has not grown anymore.
You've not cut it since.
No, I'm wanting it to grow.
I just get so fed up of my hair.
Yeah.
Betsy said I looked like a mad professor the other day.
Well, you've got curly hair as well. We've all got curly hair, haven't we?
Sometimes I look like Colin Firth in his younger days. Mm-hmm. You know, because mine's a bit browner. He's gone a lot greyer than I have, Colin Firth. Other than that, he's winning in life. It's the one thing I've got on him is a bit more brown in my hair. So I just shaved it off. But I did so much, and I'm like, you're going to have to come and do it because I know I've missed bits.
Yeah. It's funny because when you do it, a lot of people that have not seen you for a while, they'll go, oh, you're going bald. Because they think you've shaved your hair for that reason. And it's not, is it?
You know who said this to me? This is a name drop.
Go on.
Noel Gallagher. I interviewed Noel Gallagher in 2003, 2004, face to face. It's when Oasis were still together. So they were playing Newcastle Arena.
Yeah.
I went to interview him at the arena. Freshly shaved hair.
Yeah.
This is 20 to 21 years ago. I said to him, are you still living it large? Are you still, doing plenty up your nose and that? And he said, no, I've calmed down a bit now. And I'm like, that's a bit sad to hear from your fans, like that you're not, because his songs were about stuff like that.
Yeah.
He goes, well, we're all getting older. Look, you're bald. Noel Gallagher called me bald.
There you go.
I've got more hair on my head now than I had that day. But you saw the last podcast, I had a thick head of hair.
But people have said it to you many times, haven't they?
Not going bald.
I was going to say, I like you with a shaved head.
Yeah.
Because I can give it a little rub.
Yeah, when? You're not going to finish what you actually said, are you?
No, I'm going to give my parents and my kids a break from that.
Not for long. Well, I mean, that's why I almost didn't shave it off.
I just realised what the next topic is.
I am coming out of my illness. I think my cough is, I can still feel a tickle a bit, but I think it's just about gone. I'm just about match fit again. I can start dieting again. I can start exercising again. But as I come out of it, a couple of days ago, you start complaining of dizziness.
I was getting headaches. I felt really tired, like for days. Like I literally just wanted to keep going back to bed to go to sleep. And I couldn't eat. And then I'd open the fridge and everything smelt weird.
So I was overly attentive. Do you need anything? Why don't you go back to bed and all this? Because I'm thinking, I want to show you what you should have been like to me. Anyway.
Go on.
Going to pick Betsy Pearl up from school.
Yeah.
And I'm popping to Aldi. Do you need anything from the shop?
Milk, bread.
Yeah, that's the list you gave me, innit?
Yeah.
Milk, bread and...
Oh, can you get one of them pregnancy tests?
A pregnancy test.
Yeah.
To say my world was slightly knocked off its axis would be an understatement.
Well, this week we've had the discussions about life, about money, about what we're doing, that kind of... We've had some serious chats this week. So, and we've both been a little bit down about it.
Been a bit up and down with the moods, yeah.
I was feeling really tired. My boobs hurt. Literally, there was one evening where I said, I can't eat tonight. I just felt so sick. I kept feeling like I was going to be sick. And I just thought, oh my God, please no. I love babies, but I don't want another baby. We can't afford another baby.
Yeah, we can't afford the 3 babies we've got.
Yes.
So I'm just going out the door for what amounts to a 2.5 hour school run.
Yeah.
Driving across London and back.
Yeah.
And you drop that bombshell on me. And I don't have time to go to the supermarket and get back.
Yeah.
There's 2 shops side by side. There's an Aldi and there's a B&M. B&M have the pregnancy tests.
Yeah.
So I've bought everything in Aldi. I go into B&M and I'm like, I can't just buy a pregnancy test because I'm going to get the look.
Was it like when teenagers, boyfriends have to go and buy the tampons for their girlfriends?
I think it was a little bit like that.
Kind of feeling.
So I just bought some random stuff.
Did you?
Like bought some stuff for Betsy to eat in the car, but I can't remember what else. I bought like a squeegee or something. And I tried to put it in between.
Tea-towel. I like to put it underneath the tea towel on the conveyor belt.
Because when you're in the queue, you can see, the person behind you can see what you're getting.
Well, yeah, I told you that once happened to me. Jim Davison starts picking up my stuff off the conveyor belt.
Yeah. I get you the pregnancy test,
yeah.
But then I'm in the car for 2.5 hours. And I come home and I'm like, I texted you, I'm like, I've got it. Don't have a piss.
Don't have a
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I come home and I'm like, there it is, like that. And you went, think I'll do it in the morning. And
Well,
I'm
yeah, because
like,
they say that's your strongest week.
oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, what they don't tell you is perhaps if you've got an husband who's in his early 50s who possibly might have a heart condition. It's not, the doctors have not confirmed it, but, look at him. He's overweight. He's not got the best diet in the world. You could give him a heart attack. Go and piss on the fucking stick.
Let me tell you, there are so many women that are listening now that are around my age that have had their kids and they've had this moment where they've gone like, oh my God, my boobs hurt. I'm tired. I feel sick. Everything smells funny. They've had those thoughts. Oh my gosh, I think I might be pregnant. And I don't know if your body sometimes does that thing where it's like almost like has a phantom pregnancy. I don't know. I was panicking. Like more than I told you. Charlie made me get up at 4 o'clock in the morning So I did it at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I didn't even give it the 5 minutes. You're meant to do it and then leave it flat for 5 minutes. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I looked at it. I saw that the first line came up and I thought, I think I'm okay. Went to bed, got up the next morning just to double check. It still said just the one line, and it was. So we're safe.
So
you know what people are going to say, though? Stop having it every other day.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Maybe your body is warning you. Maybe your body is saying to you, calm down.
Maybe. We're not. We've said we're not.
But we're still doing it too much.
Well, you said that's it. We're never doing it again.
And I've not told you this yet.
You don't think you're pregnant?
That day, I thought, fuck it, I'm getting a vasectomy.
Oh, okay.
I genuinely thought, regardless of pain, discomfort, whatever, that 12 hours or whatever it was where there could have been baby number 4 on the way was absolutely awful for me.
I don't know if it does hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard it's.
Really?
I've heard it's not a laugh. But then I've said regularly that I'd like to have my balls cut off.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about mine here. Newborn babies have not got nice balls.
Yeah.
They're not nice. And if you're not using them anymore, get rid of them.
That's what they do to dogs.
Exactly. I want to talk about your books because you're a voracious reader because you don't sleep very well. Mm-hmm. But you read your books on your phone.
Yeah.
And whenever you buy a book, I get notified because we're on the family plan.
Yeah.
I mean, family planning. So we're bloody talking about, innit?
Yeah.
Can't get away from it. And you're reading a book. What was the book? You've just finished a book. What was it called?
Something about How I Rate You or something.
How I Rate You.
Last year, I mostly read thrillers.
Yeah.
This year, I've read 10 books already this year, and I've gone on to like kind of romance novels.
I have got a list of the books you've read in the last year.
Okay.
From an outsider looking in,
Yeah.
you seem to be reading a lot of books about murdering your husband.
Yeah.
When you can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
So you've picked these books with these titles.
Yeah.
I'm going to read these out to you, and it does read like a story.
Go on.
If I Never Met You. Mm-hmm. The Mistake. I Let You Go. After the End. Don't You Forget About Me. Behind Her Eyes. The Serial Killer's Daughter. The Last Thing He Told Me. All the Rage. The Accident. Who Did You Tell? The Suspect. The Lie. The Last Lie. I Know You Lied. Sometimes I Lie. Believe Me. The Evidence. The Silent Wife. Then She Was Gone. The Perfect Girl. Single. Strangers. The Other Passenger. The Visitor. A Stranger in the House. I Know Who You Are. You Let Me In. The Affair. Was It Good For You?
That's the most recent one.
I mean, that reads like a story, doesn't it? It's about you regretting meeting me, killing me,
Yeah.
lying about it. How many books do you read about lying, by the way? You're trying to learn how to lie better. Then about the evidence, the silent wife. Then She Was Gone. Strangers on a train.
Single.
Stranger coming into your house. You let me in. You have an affair. Was it good for you?
Oh, do you know what, though? You know, like everybody wants their Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice.
Right.
When I'm reading those books, I think about you. Not in a bad way.
A lot of these books are about breaking up in affairs.
Normally there's the perfect guy, the bad guy or whatever. And I look at the nice guys and I'm like, oh, I've got one of them.
Do you now?
Yeah. Don't give me a Larry David stare.
I don't believe for a second you do.
I do, actually.
Shall we move on to the ick?
Yes, let's.
We started this on the last podcast, your idea. Things that give us the ick.
Well, my ick is something I did. I made myself ick about myself.
Okay.
See, I don't know the rule on this. When you go to the cinema and the theatre, are you allowed to take your own sweets or not?
They don't want you to, but they can't stop you.
We always do the little sneak them in, either in our pocket, bottom of the bag, whatever.
I wear cargo trousers to the theatre because I can put bags of...
Yeah. So I had some sweets at the bottom of the bag.
Yeah.
But I know they do the bag check.
Okay.
But I've got them tucked at the bottom, and then on top of that, I've got my glasses, my wallet, I don't know, what else? You know, just women handbag stuff.
Yeah.
They say, can we check your bag, please? Yeah. I've got my bits on top, and he says, oh, can you take the stuff on top out? And then I get that guilt feeling, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to get caught here. I'm going to get caught.
Well, if you notice, me and Betsy, we've gone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be stood with you when you get busted.
with me oldie sweets in the bottom of my bag.
Yeah.
So as I'm taking the stuff out, my comb flies out, and the guy that's checking my bag is bald.
Right.
He's not shaved like you, he's bald.
I'm not bald.
Yeah. He goes, I might be needing that or something like that. He's making a joke about the comb and the bald hair.
Nice.
And now I'm so nervous, which, you know, it's not like I've got drugs at the bottom of my bag.
Yeah.
I've got a few sweets at the bottom of my bag.
But it's still contraband.
I do this like this. And he just gave me this look of, what the...
Yeah.
I felt myself like just cringe because I just did this massive overlaugh, like to try and cover up for my own guilt. I was just so embarrassed.
That is quite icky.
It was so icky, and you weren't there, and I just was like, ah. And then he didn't find the sweets, but I just, for those few minutes after, I just wanted someone to swallow me up. You know that feeling.
My ick is something you know about. It's another throwback to the doghouse, which was last week's ick on the podcast, because there's an advert on for Pet Plan, an insurance thing or something, and there's a woman on it, and she's got a little puppy running around. She goes, he's so mischievous. So my ick is people who can't say mischievous.
Yes.
Because it's pronounced mischievous or mischievous, but it's definitely not pronounced mischievous.
Yes.
There is no I there.
Yes.
I'm being a pedant here, but you're saying the bloody word wrong.
That doesn't bother me, that one, because...
It's not your ick.
No, I know, I get it. I get why it icks you, but that one really doesn't bother me.
I've got one about schedule and schedule.
Yeah.
Because schedule is the American pronunciation.
And I'm a schedule.
Schedule is British.
See, I hate it when I hear people say schedule.
Well, I say schedule.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to get into scone. That's totally different.
No.
It's like saying aluminum instead of saying aluminium.
Yeah.
We're in danger of losing an English pronunciation. I'm not being like a flag shagger. I'm just saying.
No, I get it. So
you've got to program yourself to say it properly.
Words are a funny one because there's a lot of words that do give me the ick when people say them wrong. Yeah, that isn't one of them. I think I probably say mischievous. I don't know. It's not a word that I use very
you've
much.
never said it around me because you'd be out the fucking door. I hate it. I know what you're saying. I'm a tight arse. I'm being uptight about it. But it's one of my things. And I think once you've had it pointed out to you, you should try and correct it.
Yes, maybe.
You know, I'm a letter writer, getting me fines back and everything.
Oh, God, you are becoming Larry David.
I'm going to write to that company. I've got a dog and a cat. I will never take insurance out with you.
Oh, my God,
because
you are Larry David, aren't you?
If you change that back, you'll be back on my consideration list for your overpriced insurance. Somebody has okayed that script. Somebody's filmed it. Somebody's okayed it. It's not just been okayed by one person. It's been okayed by the board.
But I remember you having this conversation years ago with the editor of a magazine.
Right.
She said mischievous. So she was an editor for a magazine. So
was she editor of a magazine in the UK or the UAE?
The UAE.
Much lower standards.
No, but she's a much posher bird than either you or I.
Well, she's getting it wrong. Simple as that. That's my ick. Next, lieutenant and lieutenant.
Well, I'll tell you which one I think I say. I say lieutenant, lieutenant. I don't know.
It's lieutenant.
I don't think I say lieutenant. I don't know.
All right, well, that's the icks.
Yeah.
Couple of good icks. It'll be back next week. Let's move on to reviews.
We have watched 2 films about World War II. Should we start with Zone of Interest?
The Zone of Interest.
It's about Rudolf Hoss, is it?
Well, I get mixed up because I always thought there was a Rudolf Hess. Rudolf Hess is a different fella altogether.
It's the O with the 2 dots on it.
Yeah, so it's pronounced Hess. Rudolf Hess.
He was the commander of Auschwitz.
They've tried to normalise his life. You see him go to work, you see him come back from work, but it's mainly centred around his house. It's his kids running around. It's his wife doing the garden.
They've got 5 children.
More than anything, it's centred on the garden.
Yeah.
Because the garden's beautiful. It's got a little swimming pool. The plants are amazing. They grow their own vegetables. It's the kind of garden. I would love that garden.
Like a walled garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason it's walled is on the other side of the wall is Auschwitz, which is a constant present throughout the film. Mm-hmm. And I thought, is the idea here that you stop noticing Auschwitz? Right. These, by the way, when we talk about this, these are very bizarre words to be saying out loud.
Yeah.
Because you and I have done a lot of reading on this since we watched the film and what it's about, the metaphors and what it's actually supposed to mean and how it's relevant to this time now.
Whilst you're watching the film, you're hearing the noises that are happening in the concentration camp.
They never stop.
I don't know if the idea is that you are meant to switch off and watch the film, and the fact, you get to the end of the film and you're like, oh, hold on, I've ignored those sounds.
Yeah.
Or if the thing is that you can't ignore those sounds when you're watching that film. So it's
Well, you're watching them ignore the sounds.
Yeah.
That becomes apparent when something happens halfway through the film that this is not normal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it took me half a film to realise that living next door to Auschwitz, it was not normal.
I think it's a brilliant film.
It's incredible.
There's moments in it that are, shall I say, dream scenes.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away. Something
Yeah.
happens at the end, which takes...
The end is... It's just really strange, but it's absolutely great.
Well, I think normally when you watch a film, it's done in a certain style and they stick to that style throughout. This film doesn't do that. It's changed its style of film at several points.
It's very good.
It's very jerky, but it fits with what the film is about.
Look, it's a brilliant film.
Oh, it really, really is. It's one that they should show secondary kids that are doing history. Because
Well, I think it's a great talker. I mean, it's one of these films that you could talk about for hours. So we move on to our second review, which is a film called One Life.
it's about Nicky Winton.
This one is based on a clip that's been viral over the last few years.
Yeah.
It's a clip from That's Life in the 80s.
It was one of those programs that everybody watched, and it was on for a long time, wasn't it?
But it was on Sunday night, and it was on late, so your mum and dad might let you stay up and watch it before school the next day, but it was definitely the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
Anyway, this clip did the rounds a few years ago, and still pops up all the time now, of Esther Ranson, the host,
Yeah.
cutting to a man in the audience, little old fella, looks like the guy from Up. At the start of the Second World War, he helped get Hungarian refugees,
Children from Czechoslovakia, yeah.
got them out of the country into Britain
Yeah.
and got them into homes. This clip is her saying, one of the girls who you got out is sitting beside you now.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's instantly overcome, this little old man, instantly overcome with emotion. I'll post a link to this in the description of the podcast. If you've never seen this clip, it's amazing. Because then she says, is there anybody else here who he helped escape the war?
Yeah.
Escape the Nazis? And the entire audience stands up.
Yeah.
And it is... I'm getting choked up talking about it.
It's very
because
emotional.
Overwhelming.
This didn't come to light until very late in his life. He was
No.
an old man when people found out about it, because he was such a humble person that he always said it wasn't about him. Yeah, he was quite an old man when he not became famous, I guess, but he, people knew the amount he did.
And it is a lot lighter than, it's like, compared to The Zone of Interest. The Zone of Interest to me is like a film school film.
Yeah.
It's deep. You can draw several different meanings from it. There's all sorts going on there. This is a bit more of a straightforward film.
It tells the story.
But it goes back in time to when he was younger. It's got some great actors in it.
Yeah.
It's moving. It's terribly moving, actually.
Yeah, it's a great story.
So I definitely recommend it.
100%. They're both really, really good films, and both teach you something.
So links to the trailers and link to the original That's Life clip I'll put in the description of the podcast. I think that'll do us.
Yeah.
That's episode 187. Please like and subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, give us a 5-star, because it does matter. And we'll see you next time.
See you later.